my dear student, welcome back to Arunavasir Bio class. So today we discuss the most important chapter, that is the reproductive system for ICSE class 10. So this topic is divided in the different day, but we have the first day. So in the first day in our syllabus, that is the reproduction in general and the male reproductive system. These two topics we discussed in our today's session, and that is a very important to all your ICSE board exam. Also this chapter also be there in the CBSE board and other boards also be there, and this chapter or topic is very important also in the science Olympiad exam also. So please you concentrate this chapter very carefully, because this chapter is important in a different way. At first, all of the students, Sayan, Cinderella, Shatanik, Honike, Shurashish, Gaurav, and Rastif, Anubhav, Shoham, Shudipto, Dishari, Shamrithi, Shomojit, Andrila, Ankon, Devarun, Shomoditto, Shutanu, Srijita, Devolina, Nirupama, Ishan, Krishnashish, Arushi, Shoresh, Roshmi, Promit, Debarho, Shaptorshi, Shomojit, Kaushani, and Devapam. All students are very warm welcome to our special session. And this chapter also be in your syllabus, Arushi, right? I think it is also be there in your syllabus. So this chapter is very important. Now we are start this chapter. So human reproductive system. Human reproductive system, at first we discuss the reproduction in general. So what is the mean by the reproduction? Reproduction is a basic characteristic features for all the living things. Because in the reproduction process, you know, the continuation of life are happening. Without reproduction, we human beings, all other animals or other plants, that means living organism cannot survive. So the reproduction is the basic process or basic characteristic features for the living things. But you know, the reproduction is mainly the two types. One is the asexual type, another is the sexual type. In the asexual process, we already discussed, generally it is happening in the lower group of organisms. Plant also be exhibit this type of reproduction. In that time, in the asexual reproduction, only one single parents are involved, right? And the new offspring are produced, but that is the most important, no variation are happening. And the fusion and fertilization are not happening in that asexual process, but the human beings, they cannot do in the asexual process, they follow the sexual process, sexual reproduction, right? So, sexual reproduction, that time the male or female, the two organism is required. Not only the male and or female organism, the two gamete cells are required. That is the male gamete cells and the female gamete cells, which is produced in our male bodies and the female bodies, and that is our fertilization are happening in that sexual process. So in that sexual process, you know, the male and female is the most important things, right? So we have discussed this thing, human reproduction. So human reproduction is a very interesting topic also in your adolescent stage. In now day 6, if we are class 10 syllabus, we are follow this thing. Now in the day 6, that means, but it is a day 1 for the ICSE 10 syllabus. But if you are follow up from the first of one, so it is a day 6 syllabus, also day 6 or day 7 and the day 8. That means in the 3 days. Right? We will follow this chapter and try to complete this chapter in the 3 days. But at first, the sexual reproduction we have discussed, the most important topic, that is the puberty. Because after the puberty, sexual maturation are coming in the living things, mainly the human beings. Right? Sexual maturity. So what is the puberty? So it is a time of change. That time some very important characteristic features are observed. You can observe this thing also. So what is the puberty? Girls start the puberty at the age of 10 to 11 and the finish at the age of 15 to 17. That means the puberty time, not the sexual maturity, are finished in the 15 or 17. the puberty time in the 15 and 17 they can reach. But boys start 11 to 12 years, some is the later. But when any children, maybe it is a son or daughter, when they reach the puberty, in that time something is changes happening in their mind. Also some psychological change, also some physical change you can observe in that particular time. There is a puberty. Many of students can, now you are also in the adolescent stage. Adolescent means when you puberty reach, that time it is called the adolescence. In the adolescent stage, primary sexual character and secondary sexual characters is ultimately developed. Primary sexual character like the ovaries is developed in the female. On the other hand, testes are ultimately male, which when present in the male, it is developed. And external genitalia also be developed at that particular age. This is the primary sex characteristics. But secondary sexual characteristics, like in the female, breast and hips development. On the other hand, males, the body quality and body hairs, it is developed after the puberty. In the adolescent stage, it is called the secondary sexual characters, right? So this is the most important information, the introduction about the reproductive system. Now we have discussed the most important things, that is the male reproductive system. The male, most important. First of all, we discuss in that particular day the male reproductive system. What is the different parts is there, and we have discussed this one by one. First of all, male reproductive system. Their main function. What is their main function? Why the male reproductive system is present? Because for the production of gametes and copulation. It is the most important things. But female structure, that is take the very important role in the other reproduction processes. So what is the different parts present in the male reproductive system? One by one we have discussed this thing. Scrotum, scrotal sac, testes, vas differentia, ejaculatory ducts, urethra, penis. That is all the different parts present in the male reproductive system. Now, at first we discuss the scrotum, right? So it is a scrotum structure. Scrotum take the very important role in the spermatogenesis because a temperature is necessary for spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means the production of the sperm. So scrotum is a pouch in which the testes are enclosed. In the scrotum, this is generally ultimately composed of the smooth muscles. They act as a thermoregulator. They control the temperature, and generally they are temperature below the 2 degrees Celsius from your body temperature. That means the 35 degrees Celsius, which is very important for spermatogenesis. 37 degrees Celsius. This temperature is not suitable for spermatogenesis, which is provided by this scrotum. And this scrotal sac, that is the whole the scrotum in the right place. During the 7th month of the developed, testes ultimately descend in scrotal sac through the inguinal canal. Because if in the abdomen the testes are present, that time the spermatogenesis is not happening, right? So this is the most important structure, the scrotum and the scrotal sac. In that particular point you can observe that. But the primary sex organ of the male, that is the testes. So if you have discussed the internal structure of the testes, that time you can observe that testes are covered by a membrane that is called the tunica albuginea. That is the fibrous connective tissue layer and other membranes like tunica vaginalis and tunica vascularis. Also these three membranes are covered above the testes. So this is the most important part. And the seminiferous tubules, where it is present? It is present inside the tubule, inside the testes. Show the different stages in the spermatogenesis. This is the structure of the testes. and this is a testicular lobules. In particular testicular lobules, a pipe-like structure is there, that is the seminiferous tubules. Also it is a tube-like structure. If you are section this structure, you can observe that this is the seminiferous tubules. Inside the seminiferous tubules, the spermatogenesis are happening. That means the sperm are produced where? In the seminiferous tubules. In the seminiferous tubules, also the Sertoli cells is present. You can observe this thing. What is their function? When the sperm are developed, that time they need the nutrient. That is ultimately provided by the Sertoli cells. So Sertoli cell nourishment center for the sperm. Where it is present? Sertoli cell inside the seminiferous tubules. But you know, between the seminiferous tubules, not the inside, between the two seminiferous tubules, one particular cell is there, that is the Leydig cells. These Leydig cells secrete the testosterone hormone, which is regulate the secondary sexual characteristic features of the male. Clear? Okay. Now the vast difference. Vast difference, but most importantly, if you go from the inside, you go, that time vast differentia is the important part. So it is the testicular lobules, it is the seminiferous tubules. After that, this region is called the reta testis. Many seminiferous tubules are joined together, they are formed the reta testis. Then the reta testis are next divided and they are formed the vas efferentia. Right? After that, this C-shaped structure, it is the epididymis. Temporarily sperm are mature and stored in there, and this tube are called the vas deferens. So this is the different parts by which sperm can transfer from the testes to other ejaculatory ducts. Epididymis, that is the C-shaped structure. Most important, this one is the C-shaped structure. It is called the epididymis, supercoil structure, and they have the three regions: outer region, middle region, and the bottom region. So you can also tell that it is the corpus caput epididymis and the corpus epididymis and cauda epididymis. That is the three regions. If you do not bear in mind, so please you mind that the three region, upper region, middle region, and the lower region. Three regions is there. But in the ICSE 10 syllabus, most important, it is important for science Olympiad. But in the ICSE syllabus, the main function of the epididymis that means stored and mature in that particular site. It is enough for ICSE 10. Third, accessory ducts, that is the most important in the ICSE 10. Seminal vesicles, prostate glands, and the Cowper's gland. Three important glands is there which is secrete something, chemical substance. So seminal vesicles, you can observe that seminal vesicles are secrete a viscous fluid. This fluid contains the different substance like the prostaglandins, right? This type of substance are mixed with the fluid which is secreted by the seminal vesicle. What is the function of the seminal vesicle fluid? They give the nourishment of the sperm, provide the energy for the sperm, is the function of the seminal vesicle. Next one, that is the prostate gland. It is called the prostate gland. This is secrete the whitish fluid, and this is neutralize the acidity of the vaginal secretion. It is a function of that point. And the Cowper's gland is there in here. You can observe that. See this one. This one will also be called the bulbourethral glands. This is ultimately bulb-like structure also. They secrete the alkaline fluids and also with the lubricating the female vaginal tract. It is a function of that Cowper's gland fluid. But these three fluids are mixed together with the sperm, right? But what is the name of that particular fluid when the secretion are mixed? That is called the semen. Semen is a whitish colored fluid. which is the mixture of spermatozoa, that means sperm, and mixture of secretion of all these 3 glands, and single ejaculation. 3 to 4 ml are semen are ejaculated from the male bodies, which contain approx 300 million of sperm. Right? Very interesting. But if we discuss the structure of the sperm, and this sperm, but only single sperm can fertilize the single ovum. Right? Now the most important part, the semen, we can discuss. Now the last topic, that is the structure of the sperm, that is we discuss this thing. Another one is the ejaculatory ducts. At first we discuss this thing. Ejaculatory ducts means vas deferens, seminal vesicle. Both ducts are open in the urethra. Urethra is the most important. They are carry the sperm and they are helped to ejaculate the sperm. Right? So urethra, it is a common pathway for urine and the semen. Right? So this is a common pathway. This one. And penis, this is external genitalia of the male. This is a very muscular structure, cylindrical structure, and found in the pubic regions. But they have the most important structure because they have the erectile tissue, which have the which is control your nervous system. This is can erect in the sexual intercourse time, which is help to secrete the semen to the female body. Right? So penis takes an important role also. So in the testes, the spermatogenesis are happening, which is like this process when the sperm mother cells produce the sperm cell. It is called spermatogenesis. This is happening in the male bodies. So this is the structure of the sperm. If we are discuss the sperm, it is the male gamete cells, right? So we have the different parts. This is called the head part. This is called the acrosomal part. This contains the hyaluronidase. This type of enzyme is there. This is called the neck part, and this is called the body. This contains the mitochondria. This is the spiral mitochondria is present, and this is the tail, which is help the movement of the sperm. So this is the different structure of the sperm, but sperm are haploid in nature. They are contain only 23 number of chromosomes. So that's all for our today class. I think we are ultimately discuss the more important some topic of the human reproductive system. In general, some idea in the reproduction, and also we discuss the male reproductive system, right? So if any doubt or any question, please do write in the comment section. This is a very new topic, and first in the class 10 syllabus in the ICSE, and first time we discuss this chapter. So please, all of the students, please carefully note down is this chapter from your book. And because after this chapter is completed, I give you some notes, also some homework. Okay, thank you very much all of the students, and bye, take care, and wish you best of luck.